Good morning, good afternoon, and good day, everybody. David here. Hope you enjoyed that little impression at the start there. So, today we are covering my Invincible Iron Man Repulsor build. This build focuses on being overcharged, and during this video I'll show you a sort of secret tip to overcharge yourself on will. This build allows you to flow in and out of combat easier and makes you look like a total badass whilst you're doing it. So we'll be covering the gear and stats for this build, as well as the right skills in the skill tree. Plus I will give you specific combos and tips on how to use this one-man army. Let's get into it. So this is the armor for the slightly broken Iron Man build that I currently have. Start off with the stats. The important stats are the precision damage. So you see I've got mine as high as I can at the minute, 1152. Bear in mind I'm not at max power yet, still at 108, but this is such a filthy build that I'm hoping I can get the same armor and perks and stuff again for the end games. At the minute this is just absolutely ridiculous. So precision damage is the most important thing for this build. So I've got my range as high as I can get it. I've also boosted my precision here and here, just the highest things I've got at the minute. And the next most important thing is the critical chance. So I've got mine at 108, which is just lower than my precision. So that will help obviously with your critical hit chance, and I don't need any critical hit damage bonuses because I'm getting that from the actual skills I'm using. So now the important perks on the armor. So this for me is a repulsor build, so I want to spec most of the things into the repulsors if I can. So this piece, the stats could be better, proficiency is pretty good, but if I could have got precision there it would have been even more amazing. But almost 9% chance heavy combo finishes grant health back. Heavy combo finishes are what we're going to be doing most of. Light signature attack steel cry damage, we're not really going to be meleeing people, but if anyone does get up in your face then there's just a bonus. Now this is the key one, 135% increased critical attack damage whilst overcharged. We're going to be overcharging ourselves in every engagement, so this is going to be a ridiculous boost in our critical hit damage. Now this one boosts our precision and our proficiency and a 10% increased damage of all rocket attacks. So I did have this before, 12.5% increased damage of all repulsor attacks and repulsor attack steel gamma damage. This was insane and was lots of fun, but it's just the power level now that's letting me down. So I'm hoping I can get this rolled again because I actually preferred this over the rocket one, to be honest. Now this one, 17.7% chance when parrying to get a Jarvis barrier. Barrier protects against damage of 20% of maximum willpower. So that barrier is great for our defense. We've also got 200% increased willpower regeneration whilst overcharged. Again, we're going to be overcharged all the time, so that's another insane perk. And this last one, 11% increased critical hit chance for heavy combo finishes. Again, we're going to be doing heavy combo finishes all the time. Takedowns can grant defense buff, which is great, and it also works well with some of the perks we're going to have in the skill tree. And defeat 3 enemies in rapid succession to grant a damage buff. That's also great because that works with the major artifact that extends our damage buff and increases our critical chance. So increased critical chance when a damage boost is active. Each damage boost is extended by 4 seconds, and I can activate the Tears of Fence damage boost at will by clicking the 2 sticks in. So the skills you will need for this build start with Iron Man's heavy combo finisher. This is the bread and butter for this build, or the foundation if you will. And unlike the missile builds that you see, you won't be aiming down sights constantly. With this you will literally be going from target to target and just chaining combos. As you can see in the footage, we'll be getting overcharged and just spamming the button. It's also useful to get the sprint attack and dodge attack upgrades, so there is never a pause in your damage output. So the next trick to this build is there is a way to overcharge yourself on demand without the use of your support heroic. With the energy barrier and energy shunt upgrades, you can call your barrier in, hover just above it, and spam your right trigger or energy pulse button so you can charge your own meter up and have infinite energy an infinite amount of times. It's actually insane. And the support heroic overcharges you as well. Where it can be more beneficial than your energy barrier is that with the right upgrades you can call in a bubble shield, which allows you to reflect incoming projectiles and also gives you a damage boost to your range attacks whilst you are inside it. It also allows you to protect an area if you have an objective to do or a down teammate to revive. Now, Iron Man's assault heroic is the Unibeam. There are two versions of the Unibeam that I recommend trying, either the standard single fire one or the heavy one that deals more damage in a shorter amount of time. I prefer actually using this single Unibeam and equipping it with the upgrade that allows it to do more damage over a longer period as long as it's held on a single target. I use this for more on like boss enemies. And the reason I prefer this is that it can also be cancelled at any point, so then you reserve some energy so you can get it back faster next time. Now, Iron Man's ultimate ability is the Incredible Hulkbuster. This ultimate is sick and it can be called in for either yourself or a teammate. So you can use it as Captain America, it's just ridiculous. It also has high melee damage and incredible laser or missile attacks. It also allows you to heal when you call it in, so it can be used as a real clutch play to like stay alive. I use the missiles for either ad clearing or for high single target damage. I have also had moments where I've called the Hulkbuster in for a teammate, and then whilst they've been inside it, I've sat inside my overcharged bubble with my repulsors and my Unibeam. And between the two of us, we've just obliterated everything around us. It's awesome. The invincibility frames the animation gives you are also clutch. The only thing you have to be wary of when spamming the missiles is that you don't drain the energy too much, because it drains a lot of energy just to use the missile attacks, so just make sure you stagger them out, and if you have just a millimeter of energy left, make sure you fire the missiles even if there's no enemies around, just to get that damage out. Now, the mastery tree, you basically want everything going into boosting your range damage, your heavy combo damage, your critical chance and critical damage, your overcharge duration, and how many heroic orbs you can create. So things like ranged combat mastery or repulsor mastery are key. I opted for the missile guidance perk because the repulsor upgrade in the middle tree is specifically for aiming with the trigger. Since we're using the combo instead of aiming, I decided the rocket guidance will help more for whenever I do fancy using rockets. The intrinsic abilities we went for are to boost our maximum amount of intrinsic energy. And it also increases the duration of our overcharged state, and it grants us intrinsic points and intrinsic energy for just being near our energy barrier. This stacks with the method I showed you earlier of spamming your pulse attack to charge your overcharge up faster. And then the last perk that I opted to was to give us a nice bonus to range damage whilst flying. This comes in really helpful for when you're flying into an area and clearing out like flying combatants or turrets. Your accuracy whilst flying is very generous as well, so you don't have to worry about aiming too much. You're literally just flying and just pull the trigger. It's bad. Now, some examples of specific combos that are really strong with this build. You want to combine your melees with your repulsors to air juggle enemies. And my personal favourite is the double light attack. Hold light attack button to do an uppercut, jump, followed by 3 light attacks, and then follow that with 3 heavy attacks. You can even charge up the last heavy attack to do more damage. This also allows you to aim the repulsors at the end of the combo to other nearby enemies, So if you finished off the enemy you were fighting, you can just chain the combo straight into another enemy without any downtime. I think the overall trick with Iron Man is just to fly in, clear out any turrets or flying units mid-flying, and then land and set up a position. You want to hold an area with your overcharge abilities and just go to town with your range attacks. I also use his lasers and his rockets to do specific jobs. Those lasers are really good to burn through enemy shields. This is great for tougher enemies or bosses. It's good to apply status effects easier as well. I also use his missiles to do high impact damage, so whether that's to take advantage of a status effect that's on a high value target, or if there's loads of adds that need quickly clearing. There's loads of combos combining all three of his different range attacks in conjunction with his melees. And each range attack does a specific job better than the other ones do. But with combining the status effects with the heavy combo finisher and the critical chance and critical damage that this build gives your repulsors, at times just me anchoring down in a overcharged zone is stronger than my Hulkbuster. It's crazy. I've never felt more like the Invincible Iron Man than with this build. So I urge you to try it and to have fun with it. Leave your comments below if you have a filthy build that you have been enjoying with one of the other characters. And if you've enjoyed the gameplay, I stream it on Facebook every Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday at 1 PM UK time. But for now, I shall love you and leave you. Take care, stay safe, and I shall see you all very soon. Bye bye.